Hey everybody, happy Thursday morning. We're going to talk a little bit about Mahler 5. This is on the docket for this morning in about 20 or so minutes. So I want to talk a little bit about this. Obviously this is a big deal for us trumpet players. I'm just going to probably this morning just talk about some of the more important things. This opening, we're going to talk about this section here, and then we'll talk about the little lyrical section, maybe a little bit about the end of the first movement. I don't have that long. I've just got about maybe 20 minutes before we do our dress rehearsal on this. Obviously this is a huge excerpt for us. It's pretty much on every single audition, and you all know a lot of these things. So I'm going to briefly do this little kind of visual here, show you what I'm talking about, then I'll turn the camera around and demonstrate some of this. So this is in a strict tempo, like a funeral march, and you all know this idea. We have to keep the bar the same tempo. So, you know, you have a couple options. I like to think of it as in a 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that. And then I keep that same half note. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, dum, dim, ba-bum, ba-bum. This kind of bar to bar thing is really important for this strict tempo like a march. So the 6 helps us play this in a rushed manner that he asked for, this little thing down here. And that, you know, depending on the conductor, might stay for these. This week we are keeping it. Dudamel is keeping this kind of 6 pulse here, these falling on the 6 beat. And I prefer that. It seems to hold form. This being in a da-da-da-dum feels very lethargic and not really in the mode that I think Mahler's going for. I'm going to demonstrate this in a minute. I want to talk a little bit about, well, why don't we do that here? Let me demonstrate this, and then we'll go from there. Let's flip this around. Hello. See the beautiful grate there. Can you all hear me okay? I'm trying a different microphone. Can I get a thumbs up? I want to do a sound test here. Hold on. That is really ugly there, air vent. Give me a second here. All right. Hang tight. Whee! Okay. Still going to get the air vent. Oh well. Okay. Can you all give me a thumbs up on the sound? Is it good? I'm just kidding. Is that okay? Somebody give me a thumbs up after I played. Okay, thanks. All right, so this opening, again, I'm using this mic. I don't know if it's going to be too hot for this playing a little bit louder. But look, if there's one thing I want to share with you all that I think is super, super important, something that sort of represents the underlying importance of trumpet playing in Mahler 5. What is the number one thing? There's probably 2 main things that people have trouble with in this excerpt. What do you think they are? The opening triplets response, being soft enough. You can say, well, it's soft enough. Well, then that's a response thing. And the other thing would be like, you know, making the high notes sound strong and good without forced, right? So this all comes down to a production thing. Every single day I do work on production. It takes me about 20 minutes, and I really want to solidify that. This is through the Frank Quinn book. Yes, tuning is important, but like if you can't respond the note in the correct style, then if you don't have good response, or if you're going like this, it doesn't matter what your intonation is, right? So intonation can be really improved from really good production. So I spend a lot of time on that every day. And when I was working on this as a young trumpet player, really trying to find the consistency that I wanted at auditions, I was doing a ton of this. 1, 2, 3. Off the face. 1, 2, 3. I wanted the response to be really good, because who knows? Who knows? What if I just had to play something like... Right? I want to have that C sharp really, really. Frank Quinn, Mary Frank Quinn. If you send me a message on here, I'll send you the PDF of this exercise, okay? So let me demonstrate this. I'm really trying to keep this 6 feel. Response is the most important thing. don't practice this over and over. The other thing is playing this soft enough in an audition can be really scary. Or at the beginning of a rehearsal or the beginning of a concert, dead silent. You want to have that confidence of response. What I mean by response is that emission of sound. This is what Frank Quinn talked about. This is what Schlossberg talked about. This is what Arbin referenced. This is what, let me think, Stamp. Stamp starts with lip buzzing. You have to have a good response. So this is how I start this. Maybe I'll just play the whole opening. In my head, I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. So, I'm using a couple of, yes. Good luck, Seth. Good luck for that. So you all see I really tried to keep the pacing of the bar. And then the other thing that I've changed recently is when I go bar 8, dun, 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 a lot of people put a breath there and then they change the rhythm. They go like this. Keep the 16th strict, just like before. And the thing I've changed is I don't breathe there anymore. I feel like I've gotten efficient enough over the years that I can keep the energy of the line going, like to bounce it into the triplet, which is super exciting, I think, musically speaking. So that's how I approach the opening. Of course, I've worked with drones on this, and I've sang this, chanted this a bazillion times over the years. Recording yourself over and over and over, getting that vibe, trying to get that march-like feel throughout the different iterations of rhythms, all that kind of stuff. Okay, let's talk a little bit about this second part here. This is one of the most exciting. I'm going to go back to my little visual here, so hang tight with me. Let's see, let's go to here. All right, you all see this part here. This, I absolutely love playing this part. It is so fun. But I think what people miss a lot of times, in my opinion, is the connection of notes. Now, what I want to do here, I'm going to demonstrate what I think the most important part of the line is without all of the notes there. I think it's something like this. And when I show you this, then you can see how important the other notes are to making those notes significant. So follow me here. So I'm thinking. I played the wrong note before, but can you see how tying those things together, people get too caught up. People get too caught up in the small notes, and then you lose the sense of the line. You lose the sense of how, like, a half step can really help prepare. How does a half step help you prepare for a higher note? It builds tension. So if I go crescendo, keep
Good morning, LA Film musicians. This is your on-stage call for the top of rehearsal. Thank you.
I don't think I played the first piece. Let me double check, my friends. Yeah, I'm good. I got 10 minutes. So, put together the whole line, something like this. So that interval of the B flat to the G flat, that is not a sort of warm and fuzzy. That's a stretch, especially if you're thinking in B flat minor, right? That's like, that's painful. So the more that I can make the line connected and let those half steps here that's really where, if I can keep in time and I keep the energy, that's where the beauty of connecting these bigger footballs can be. Does that make sense? I'll show you one more time. Trying to play with the harmony, the dissonance that Mahler is giving us there. That keeps going. That happens again. And just keep playing with that idea. How can you be an effective storyteller through the rhythm and the harmony? Of course, sound, intonation, articulation, quality sound, those things are important too. But if you have those things in place, really take the opportunity to tell a story, to get the audience to feel something is really... That's where it's at. That's the goal, right? The goal is not to have a perfect embouchure or to have perfect intonation. Those are all a means to an end to telling a story without distractions. Okay, the other excerpt that I want to share with you real quick, and then I'll skedaddle here, is the lyrical one. Again, personally, I always had an issue with this and response. Response seemed to be something that eluded me when I got tense. Why? Because I ended up pushing too much. Look, you see this little thing, this little torture device in the background? See that right there? Right there, right there. That's where I practice like no pressure. Just a little bit every day, just to remember where I want the work to be. So, if you have trouble with response, if you have trouble with endurance, with efficiency, with flexibility, don't look just at those areas to get better at that. Look at the emission of sound. My friends, this is where it's all at. A lot of people take it for granted if they have it as a natural player. You can develop these things. You really can. You can absolutely. Okay? So, here we go. This lyrical thing, I want to tell a story again through the big notes that Mahler's connecting. Check this out. Let me think. Okay. Look what Mahler does. We have this melody that goes... Lots of opportunities to make music there. But look, if you look at what he did from 2 bars at a time, watch. Remember F sharp. Right there. There's a lot of notes in between those, but if you can build a bridge and make a line, if you can build a line between that, then you're pulling the audience along. But watch if I don't do that. I'm making the accented notes on the high notes, or I accent a low note. No. Try to keep the line. And then look, he does it again. So the last note is a little bit of it doesn't end happy, it sort of ends with a little bit of a burn, right? So let me show you this one more time. Build a bridge between the bigger post of melodic writing. One other thing I'll say real quick. this eighth note, yum, ba bum, bing, ba bum, it's very okay to some degree. It's very okay. It's acceptable to stylize this a little bit, especially in performance practice. If in an audition, maybe you'd be a little bit more conservative just to not seed any doubt. But it's very possible. Yum, ba-bum, ba-bum, ba-yum, ba-bum. It could harken back a little to the 6/8 feel of like ba-ba-ba-bum. So one, ba-bum, yum, ba-bum. So if you hear recordings do that, just make sure you connect with the viola player that you all are doing it the same way. That's a sigh. Right? And then a little hopeful, and then it wells up. That's what I'm thinking. Building the tension, a sigh, a yearning, and then a overwhelming sort of octave there to free up, to express. Okay? If you look at the last thing I was going to say about this last part, building the bridge, it's this. So he augments the delivery of the third note. You follow me? So from here, I know it's not going to be clear. So he goes a step higher. It's on the downbeat. So this augmentation is sort of like the musical equivalent of like it's stretched, it's more expressive, and we don't have the delivery of bar, da 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 bar, da da da. Wait, one more bar. That makes sense? All right. I hope, let's see, I got one more second to show you this at the end. This last little bit at the end here, I love this little fanfare here. It's sort of like this, it's present, but it's sort of like a resignation call. It's because you're going to be kind of dying away here. And keep, as a trumpet player, keep supporting as you get softer and softer here. And then this, I like to use a black trump corps lyric with a foam ring. Let me show you that real quick. Let me grab it. This little spot where I talked about it dying away comes back to how good and how easy is it that you make a sound. If you go... If you're having production problems like that, there's no matter about practice, just throwing yourself at it, that's going to make that better. You're relying upon pressure and incorrect form. You want to put the work in the right place. That moment, you have the whole audience there, right? I often wonder, I wish I could make my last note a little bit more airy. Like the last breath. Anyway, last thing I'll show you is this. I use this, a little foam ring that I sort of carved out of a piece of foam. Make sure it's not too thick. If it's too thick, it's not going to work here. And then a little of this fluttering triple at the end. You don't have to play the C sharp. That's the flute part. But that's where it's going. So you kind of want to set up the idea of the flute. Alright? hope this helped. There's a lot more to Mahler 5, but I don't have time to get into it. I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.